Alright, in this video you're just going to be getting a quick introduction to AutoCAD 2016, which is looking a little bit different than previous versions. Myself, I'm used to AutoCAD 2014, so it's going to take me a little while to get used to this, so you're going to have to cut me some slack there. Alright, so starting out, first thing I want to talk about is the fact that AutoCAD is pretty customizable as far as how it looks. What I think a lot of you will probably end up using from what's set up in the STEM Center. What is this? Go away. What's set up in the STEM Center computers is a workspace called Autocad Classic, which I think looks a little bit better than what I've got set up here. I just downloaded CAD 2016 onto my own computer, so I don't really have any custom modes put in yet. For changing views, we're going to come down here to the bottom. There's this little icon that looks like a gear for workspace switching. If we click on this little arrow, we can see that we've got drafting and annotation, which is what I'm in now. That's what you guys are going to be primarily using as far as the type of commands it's going to be showing. 3D basics, 3D modeling. We're going to take a quick peek at what 3D modeling looks like. So you've got some pretty cool commands here for planes and boxes, all sorts of good stuff, but you're not going to get into 3D for a while. My personal favorite, which is, like I said, it's on the STEM Center computers, is AutoCAD Classic. It used to be a default mode in the older versions of AutoCAD, but they got rid of it for AutoCAD 2016. However, you can set up your own to sort of mimic what the old Classic looked like. So I believe that's what's on the classroom computers as well as the STEM Center computers. So you guys, for the time being, are going to be using either Classic or drafting and annotation. Just whichever you think works nicer for you, is more efficient, whatever works. Okay, next thing I wanted to go through is commands, drawing commands. Usually, I'd say almost all the time, there's going to be more than one way to go about drawing something, or just really putting in any command into AutoCAD. There's not really a right way to do it, just whatever works for you, whatever you can remember, whatever you think is fastest. So to start out, just a simple example of that, I'll draw a line here. So up here at the top, which is called, this area here is called the ribbon, just shows me some commands that AutoCAD thinks I'm going to be using frequently. I've got layers, simple shapes, moving commands, mirror, all that sort of stuff, scaling things up and down. For the time being, let's just draw a line. So if I want to draw a line segment, I can specify the first point. I'll just pick one somewhere around here, and I will draw a line. So there we go. If I want to, what it's going to do by default is it's going to want to keep drawing lines from the end point. To get out of it, I'm just going to hit escape. That exits its command. That's a good rule of thumb. Anytime you're doing anything in AutoCAD and you want to get out of whatever command you're in, you're going to want to hit escape. Okay, so we've figured out one way to draw a line. So up here here's our line, just a nice big button in the ribbon. What I think tends to work a little faster for me is I usually type commands. So if I just type in line, hit enter, there we go, it's going to ask me for the first point. I'll throw another line in over here, and I'm going to hit escape to exit that command. And there we go, I've got a second way to draw a line. In AutoCAD Classic, I believe you're going to have more tabs and stuff, pull down menus for drawing commands. That'll probably give you a third way to draw a line command. So I would play around with this. Whatever you find works for you the best, typing commands or looking for the button, whatever works for you and is efficient, that's what you're going to want to go with. If I can do another simple one, okay, so let's see, circles. Let's see, so we got multiple kinds of circles. The default one's going to be your center radius circle. So I'll pick that guy. So it's saying, okay, specify a center point from circle. I'm going to come down to this line. You'll see a little green square will pop up near the end of the line once I scroll pretty close to it. That's called object snap. which just allow me to snap to certain things. So I'll put the end of my line as a center point for the circle. So now it wants me to specify a radius for the circle, so I'll say it's got a radius of 3. Okay, so there's one way to draw a circle. Came up here to the ribbon with this little pull down menu. The way that I would usually do a circle is I would just type circle. I don't even have to type the full word. I can just type a sort of a shorthand command, so just CIR will be enough. If I hit enter, there we go, specify center point. I'll do the end of this line up here. There's my object snap. So I can scroll and I'll say the radius in this one I want to be 2. Okay, there's 2 ways to draw a circle, and again I would assume in AutoCAD Classic, although who knows for 2016 at this point, there's going to be multiple ways to do things. Whatever you find works for you, that's what I would go with. Okay, so I just talked about object snap. That's another example of how you can have multiple commands turn things on and off. So let's see, here we go. This little box down here, this little green square, that's my object snap. So if I pull down this little drop down menu, I've got certain things that it's snapping to right now. So you saw just a second ago I snapped to the end of a line, so its endpoint is checked, center is checked, so if I want to snap to the center of one of those circles I can do that. Midpoint, I don't have that on, so if I click on midpoint, I've checked the midpoint box. Now I can snap to the midpoint things. Okay, so alright, so if I want to turn object snap, so if I want to start another line, you'll see I can snap to the end point of the line. Also I can snap to, there's a little triangle now I can snap to the midpoint. So if I draw another line, I've got one coming out of the midpoint. So what I was talking about with the multiple ways to do things, if I just click on the object snap thing, you can see it's not blue anymore. I turned object snap off there, you can see in the command. So I've got OSnap off right now. You can see actually there's a little hint for it right now. There's, along with typing commands, what I would typically prefer to do, you can see it says object snap, OSnap is F3. So if I go into the hotkey commands at the top of my keyboard now, if I hit F3, you can see it says command OSnap on, and my little blue box has come back on. So I can either turn things on and off here, or I can just hit F3. Same thing goes for things like the grid for the background, snap mode, which is snapping to the grid. I've got ortho mode, which is wants to keep me in sort of perpendicular 90-degree angle lines that are nicely aligned to the grid. So there's, and those commands you're going to find down here. So here's ortho, I could use F8, or I could click this guy. So just to wrap things up, you're going to find with most of the time all commands in AutoCAD there's going to be more than one way to do things, and whatever works for you is going to be fine. So just play around with it, get going with AutoCAD. You know, don't be afraid to just make some random shapes and get going. This is a kind of program where it's not going to be, you know, you're not going to just follow along with what somebody else is doing all the time. This is the kind of program where you're going to find a lot better experience if you just dive in and get some intuition, learn how to do things on your own. So I think that'll do it for this video.